In Japan, school students can memorize more than 100 kanji characters in a single day, while most of us struggled to remember even one formula after hours of studying. Stickman was facing the same problem. Every night, he sat at his desk, books stacked high, highlights everywhere, messy notes. He read everything again and again. Yet during tests, his mind went completely blank. Then, one day, he realized something important. Maybe the problem wasn't his memory. Maybe the problem was the way he was trying to memorize. So he studied how Japanese students remember so much information, and what he discovered completely changed the way he learned. There are 5 powerful memory systems they use, systems combining visuals, emotion, logic, and smart practice. Let's begin with the first one. The first system is visual coding, inspired by kanji. Japanese students don't memorize kanji as random strokes, they see them as pictures. Many characters look like real objects, trees, people, buildings, and students connect those shapes to real life. Stickman tried the same. Instead of plain text, he added small doodles, symbols next to key points, a tiny tree for biology, a lightning bolt for energy, a lock for security. And then something surprising happened. When he tried to recall the information, he didn't remember the words first, he remembered the pictures, and those pictures unlocked the meaning instantly. The human brain processes visuals far faster than text. Convert your notes into images, and your brain will store them easier and recall faster. The second system is emotional mnemonics, memory with drama. Japanese memory coaches often say one thing: emotion equals retention. Stickman used to repeat boring sentences like mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, but this time he imagined a tiny angry factory inside a cell shouting at lazy workers, producing energy. It sounded silly, but because it was emotional and dramatic, it stayed in his memory. He turned more info into exaggerated stories. Historical dates became movie scenes. Science processes became battles between characters. The stranger, the funnier the story, the harder it was to forget. Emotions leave chemical marks in your brain, and those marks strengthen memory. The third system is interleaved practice, mixing subjects instead of focusing on one topic for hours. Stickman used to study math for 2 hours straight. Japanese students switch topics, math, history, science, back to math. At first, it felt confusing, uncomfortable, frustrating even. But after a few days, Stickman noticed something amazing. Each time he returned to a subject, his brain had to actively retrieve the information, and that effort made the memory stronger. Like muscles growing when challenged, the brain grows stronger when forced to adapt. The fourth system is teaching as a way of remembering. One afternoon, Stickman saw a student standing alone explaining a lesson out loud as if teaching someone invisible. This is called the Feynman method. Rule is simple. If you truly understand something, you should be able to explain it in simple words to a child. Stickman tried it. He stood in front of a mirror, explaining the lesson step by step. Within minutes, he realized there were parts he couldn't explain clearly. Those parts he didn't fully understand. By teaching in his own words, he discovered gaps and fixed them immediately. The fifth system, often ignored by students, white space in notes. Stickman's notes were crowded, text, arrows, highlights everywhere. It looked like everything was important, but nothing stood out. Japanese notebooks use space. Each concept has room to breathe. Stickman rewrote his notes. Clear headings, empty space between points. Suddenly, reviewing became effortless. His eyes scanned fast. His brain separated ideas easily. After using all 5 systems, visual coding, emotional mnemonics, interleaved practice, teaching, and structured notes, Stickman felt something he never felt during exams: calm. Questions appeared, images flashed in his mind, funny stories returned, explanations came naturally. His mind did not go blank. When the results were announced, Stickman saw his name at the top of the list. The same student who once forgot everything was now the one who remembered the most. He understood the powerful truth. Memory is not about a special brain, it is about using the right system. Force your brain to memorize text repeatedly, and you will forget. But use images, emotion, variety, teaching, and structure, and you work with your brain instead of against it. And that is how Japanese students remember so much so quickly.